This is going to be an introduction to the USDA Web Soil Survey. The Web Soil Survey is a tool that we can utilize to determine the soil type of a field, which we will then use to put on our soil sample submission forms when we submit soil samples to the lab of our choice. To go to the Web Soil Survey, we first enter the address code here in the top bar. Once we enter that and go to the home page, what you'll notice first is this Start Web Soil Survey green button. Go ahead and click that. This will take you to the start of the Web Soil Survey. There's a lot of information here, and we're going to go through it step by step as to how you would find a field and determine the soil type on that field. As we go through the survey, what I'll do is I'll point out different parts of the toolbar that will be of use as we go through here and determine our soil type. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to see 3 brown bars. They're going to be Search, Area of Interest, and Quick Navigation. We're going to start with Quick Navigation because this will allow us to enter an address to find a field of our choice. So using these little drop-down arrows, I'm going to press it and see that an address box pops up. Now we can enter our address here either in 1 line or 2 lines. It's your preference. And for the sake of this example, I'm going to enter it all in 1 line. I'll enter the address now. Once we have entered the address, make sure that Show Location marker is highlighted. See that we can highlight and unhighlight. It is defaulted as being highlighted. And then we can click the View button. And this will draw us in to the address that we've entered in the search bar. As you can see, there is a little target above the area where I have looked for in the address bar. This is the physical address that shows up on the map. But the field that I want to go to isn't in this map's vicinity. So in order to get to the field of this example, I'm going to point you to some tools on the top bar to help navigate the map in order to decrease, increase the size, and move the map around to find the field that you're interested in. If we look under Area of Interest Interactive Map, we're going to see 3 tools on the left-hand side of that bar that we're going to start with. They're going to be a plus sign in a magnifying glass, a minus sign in a magnifying glass, and a little grab hand. The plus magnifying glass allows us to zoom in on an area, whereas the minus takes us out. The grabbing hand allows us to hold onto the map and pull it in the direction that we wish to go. So first, I know that the field that I want is to the north and to the west of the current location. So what I will do is I will press the minus button in the magnifying glass, and you'll see once that button is pressed that it is surrounded by an orange box. Once that's selected, click on the map in the direction that you wish to move. You can click in the middle and that will just take you out uniformly, or you can click in a direction to go in a direction. In this example, what I'll do is I'll show you what clicking in the middle of the map does. So I've clicked the minus button. I will now click once, and the map will load, zooming us out. At this point, I can still see my address that I searched for, but I still don't see the field that I'm going to use in this example. Making sure that the minus magnifying glass is highlighted again, I'm going to go ahead and click the map again. And I've been drawn out to the point of where I can see our field, which is right in this quadrant, right to the bottom of the airport strip. At this point, what I want to do is I want to center that field and increase my area of scope so that I can better define its boundaries in the next step. To do that, I'm going to go up to that top bar under Area of Interest and click the grab hand. This map does not move as you would find intuitive on a smartphone or on a touchpad, but instead, you're going to need to hold and drag with your mouse. So what you will do is you will hold your left mouse button down and drag the map such that your area of interest is in the center of the screen. Note that between loading screens, it can take a couple of seconds, especially if you have low bandwidth, but within about 30 seconds, you should see that your change has been implemented. At this point, what I want to do is I want to zoom in on this field so that we can outline our boundaries better. So to zoom in, I'll click the plus magnifying glass, and then go ahead and click in the middle of the area that I want to zoom in on. One click takes me there. I'd like to move that field around so that it's again centered in my screen. Once I've done that, I will go ahead and click the plus magnifying glass again, click in the middle of that map, and I want to magnify it one more time. So instead of grabbing and moving first, I will click first. And then you see that that area of interest is well outlined. I'm just going to take my grab hand and move the field to the center of my view. At this point, what we can do is outline our area of interest, or AOI. The area of interest helps this program define the boundaries of a field to then give you the soil type of that field. To use the AOI, you have two options. You can either use a rectangle, or you can go ahead and use a polygon. We're going to try both methods, but first we're going to try the rectangle. We click this once to highlight it in the orange box. And then what we'll do is we'll click in a corner of the field, hold down the mouse button, and drag our mouse down such that the area of interest is highlighted. The program will automatically zoom in, and it will create blue lines through the box of the area that you've selected. At this point, what we can do is we can go over to our soil types and evaluate the soil types. Let me show you how to do that now, in case you're interested in using the square function. So at this point, you can go to Soil Map. Up in this top bar where we have Area of Interest highlighted, we can then click on the next tab to see the soil map, and the soil map will show itself. So in this example, it doesn't really matter that we have extra fields tied in here, because we can look at the map and see that the largest soil type within this field is BSB. If we look at our unit map legend on the left-hand side, BSB is Busty Silt Loam, and we can see that it takes up 44.3% of the area of interest, which is the largest percent of the area of interest of all the soil types once you evaluate through these numbers in this column. In some cases, it's going to be hard to determine which type of soil dominates, simply because the box includes areas outside of the area of interest. If this is the case, it's best to go back into the system and use the polygon feature to highlight your field of interest. Moving back up to the top of the map, we're going to adjust this. So to adjust anything on the map, we'll go back to area of interest, since soil map just gives us results. Clicking back on area of interest, you can see that we're back to the screen where we now have the rectangle highlighted with the lines running through it. What we'll do here is we want to clear this box to make room for the next polygon that we're going to use in the field. So we're then going to go ahead and click Clear AOI, which will delete the AOI and we can start over. Scrolling down to put this in the center of the screen, I will then go up and highlight AOI polygon by clicking on it, highlighting it in the orange box. To use this feature, you'll click in one part of the field on the outer border and then use sequential clicks to outline the field. In this example, what we're going to do is click once, draw the line over, click again. Now I do want you to notice, if you don't click, that the program automatically completes the box for you. But because we want to highlight more than the triangle that this program creates, or whatever shape it creates, so just say I click again, it'll create then a 5-sided structure, or 4-sided structure in this case. We're going to click multiple times around the field, outlining our area of interest. And as we do so, we'll hit a point where we defined the whole area. And so at this point, you will double click, and it will then create an area of interest, which is more precisely outlining the field of your choice. At this point, we can scroll back to the top, click on Soil Map, and the soil map will be highlighted in the area that we've selected. We see that the busty silt loam is still the highest percentage of soil type within the field at 55.4%. This is higher than the previous example because that number isn't diluted down by the other fields that would be within the rectangular area. When selecting a soil type to put on your soil sample submission form, you will choose whichever soil type has the highest percent AOI within the area you've selected. In this case, it's busty silt loam, or BSB. When you write the soil type into your submission form, make sure that you're writing busty silt loam out. At this point, you can enter that information into your submission form. Go ahead, scroll up to the top of the page, go back to area of interest, because at this point you're finished, and then you can clear the AOI. And at this point, you can use the quick navigation address again to enter another address and start another field survey. Or if you're using the same address, you can simply press the minus button, zoom out, use the grab hand and move the map, and select the field which you are interested in surveying. One more comment about this survey is that when you highlight an area of interest, that area of interest's boundaries are going to be defined by you. So if there is a spot in the field that you want to exclude, just say it's a wet area or a lower area or an area that's just been cleared, for instance, you'll want to exclude that from your soil typing simply because that area should have been tested separately for your soil test sample submission. So that is the basics of how to use Web Soil Survey. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your local team or area specialist to get more information on how to use this program.